In my mind, there's nothing more beautiful than skill. A skill can simply be defined as the ability to do something well, but in my mind, I believe it's so much more than that. A skill is a representation of one's ability to pursue through failure. It's important to not confuse skill with talent, defined as one's ability to do something well by nature. Skills differ in the sense that you must fail first to succeed. Failure is the great equalizer. There isn't a person alive today that hasn't failed at something in their life. Whether it be small enough not to matter or big enough to completely change a person, failure is not just inevitable, it's necessary. And to learn, grow, and master a skill, you are going to fail on the way to perfection. This resilience to push through failure is where I find beauty. I find nothing more inherently beautiful than a perseverance through failure. It's a demonstration of potential like no other, and potential means infinite possibilities for a person. So when I see someone who's an absolute master of their skill, I don't see the action being performed. I see hundreds of victories this person has picked up along the way, triumphing through failure. Skill in a person is beauty. And I don't say this in the sense that one's skills can make up for all other attributes of a person, but rather skill in my mind is the pinnacle of what we desire. We place skill on this pedestal of goals and aspirations, and only once we've achieved the said skill can we finally reap the rewards our hard work and dedication towards it finally paying off. We should all strive to have skills in our life, but for many, it may be difficult to know how to begin. I believe that one's mindset towards skill is the first step. Acknowledge that you will fail. Acknowledge that you might not achieve this skill that you're trying to achieve. But nevertheless, attempt to reach it by all means. The second step I believe in is focusing on your day-to-day, not the big picture. Especially when we see a master of a skill, many of us fall victim to only seeing the end result rather than the thousands of building blocks that made up that victory. This is what I call the victory confirmation bias. I call it this because it's a phenomenon where many of us are only seeing the mastery of the skill that we're trying to achieve substantially more frequently than we are seeing the progress and time it took to reach that point. I believe social media is a massive proponent for this effect, with everyone only posting about their end result and not their journey towards a skill, while barely packaging the levels of time and failure that went into it. So please, while admiring the beauty of a skill can be an inspiration for some, it can also be a detractor and demotivator for others. Don't get caught in the trap of comparing yourself to others. Rather, focus on the feeling you know you'll get when you finally achieve the skill that you're working towards. Skill is something that is untenable. It's not a clear-cut matter, yet we all know what it is. All of us can point to a skill we someday would like to achieve. While we do this, I'd really like to challenge you to stop and think about what's really getting in the way of you achieving your skill. Is it the fear of failure? Is it a lack of understanding on how to progress? Or is it more simple than that, your complacency taking front and center, stopping you from taking the first step? I challenge you to take that first step, today, right now. Pause this video and write down what you need to do, what skill you want to achieve. I'll wait. Because the closer you are to starting the road down to your skill, the closer you're going to be to changing yourself as a person. Skill is beauty. And the beauty of skill is undeniable. There are so few aspects of our lives that we truly have control over, and yet one of the most impressive aspects we have as humans is our skills. Skills can change you as a person. Skills can introduce you to friends or opportunities you've never even dreamed of. Fame, fortune, legacy can all come from skill. We are all impacted by those around us who have skills, and I want you to be part of that group. Skill is beauty. I would rather someone fail at something every day than not take the time to try. Trying is something that every single one of us can do. Trying is what makes people great. It's the difference between success and failure, the difference between complacency and skill. The simple act of attempting to better oneself is everything. Skill is beauty. After watching this video, we're probably all left with one question, and that's how do I stop being complacent? How do I become skillful? And that's a phenomenal question. I'm not going to try to peddle some course onto you and some self-help guide on how to better yourself. I think the core issue is a lot more rooted than that. You must first truly recognize that you have the potential to do whatever you want to do. And that's the mindset I've lived my entire life knowing in my heart that if there's something I want to achieve, something I want to do, I will be able to do it. And if I fail, at least I put in all of the work I could have to get to that point and learned a lot along that journey. I think having that mindset of success and knowing deep down in your heart truly that you can do anything, even if you're miles away from it right now, is the most important step towards any journey that you do. This mindset in itself sounds a little bit cliche, and I completely understand that. I completely understand the idea that you've been told your entire life that you can do anything you put your mind to, and that really nullifies the statement I'm trying to make. I'm not necessarily saying that there aren't some things that are impossible for you. What I am saying, though, is you don't know if they're impossible until you really put 100% effort towards it. What if you end up being the best at something? You look at all these professional athletes, all of these very talented, skillful people that have put thousands of hours into their discipline and craft, and you have to ask yourself, what if they never started their journey? What if, when they began, they sucked and they gave up immediately? They would never know the potential of where they would reach. And thinking that thought for myself is what drives me and is what motivates me. Because I don't know what I am capable of until I truly put 100% effort towards it, and neither do you. There's no world where you can tell me that there is something you can't do unless you've absolutely worked towards it for as long as you can, and it truly is not possible for you. But even then, I still think there's working towards it, and I still think there's so much benefit towards working towards a goal. There's so much more that comes from trying to achieve a goal than just reaching that goal. Everyone always says the journey is better than the destination, and in some sense I agree with that. The destination is fantastic, but there's the entire journey of working towards that point and knowing that you put in the work, and that gives you so much satisfaction to do so many more things in your life. You know in your mind once you accomplish something that, hey, maybe I could accomplish something else. But you don't know until you try. Thank you guys for watching.